Yeah, I want to move into your first book, Eat to Beat Disease. You talk about 5 defense systems of the body. And I mentioned a few in the intro: angiogenesis, regeneration, microbiome, DNA, protection, and immunity, and how each of those defense systems can be activated or deactivated by food to heal and have optimal health.
Yeah.
Can you share with us how the microbiome and angiogenesis affect our weight? And then what can we do with food to maximize their positive effects?
Okay. Big topic.
Yeah.
But in a nutshell, our body is just like we're born with a hardwired metabolism. We're born with these 5 hardwired health defense systems. They were formed in the womb. We got them when we were born. And when the moment we hit the ground running and crying and doing all the things that babies do, our health defenses are firing in all cylinders to protect us from disease. So our health overall, our life, is not just the absence of disease. It's really the result of these health defense systems: the blood vessels, the regeneration, stem cells, the microbiome, DNA repair, and our immune system all working on our behalf. And so when we get sick, it's because our defenses, our shields are down in some way, shape, or form. And when we actually want to stay healthier, we raise our shields. You can raise your shield with good sleep. You can raise your shield with exercise. You can raise your shield by lowering stress. And very importantly, you can raise your shields by eating the right foods. So my first book was about how do we actually raise our shields by eating the right foods. Well, I can tell you, because every one of these health defenses, your circulation, stem cells, gut microbiome, DNA, and immune system, is linked to our metabolism.
Yeah.
Part of the way that our 5 health defenses protects us is that it protects our metabolism as well. When our shields go down and we start getting chronic diseases, our metabolism can be also derailed. You need a good blood supply, angiogenesis, in order to deliver the hormones that tell us that we're hungry or not hungry, or to deliver the insulin to our muscles. And so if you have compromised circulation, your shields are down for your blood vessels, your angiogenesis, man, your metabolism is not going to work so well. In our gut, our gut contains our gut healthy bacteria, about 39 trillion of them. And the bacteria live, their nest, their home is in a part of our large bowel, our large intestines, called the cecum. And our intestines is continuously renewed, mostly while we're sleeping. Stem cells come out and rebuild it. It's like making a new bed. And if you actually if you have a compromised regeneration system, it's like being in a hotel with no housekeeping for a week. You're not refreshing your sheets. You're not actually cleaning up the room, and now the gut microbiome is not going to be as healthy. And so now your gut health starts to be compromised. And when your gut bacteria are compromised, your metabolism doesn't work as well. Inflammation goes up. Your blood cholesterol your blood lipids go out of whack. Your insulin sensitivity changes. All kinds of things, actually, bad things happen to your metabolism. That's an example of that. And then let's talk about the immune system inflammation. Look, our gut bacteria not only grooms our metabolism and helps our metabolism stay streamlined, but it lowers inflammation as well. When we gain extra body fat, in addition to derailing the metabolism, that inflammation will cause our body fat to derail, our metabolism gets derailed, and when our gut health is compromised, we're not able to lower inflammation. And now the inflammation is kind of like an arsonist, setting fire, not to just a fire pit, but then throwing that match into the woods to light a wildfire. And now inflammation's everywhere. And that's why this situation of excess body fat, even if you look okay, I always joke about this, people talk about the dad bod, right?
Yeah.
You might not look terrible, but you're not cut and you're not lean.
Right. And you probably shouldn't look pregnant because you're a dude.
Exactly. But that's the situation where you start gaining that extra body fat and inflammation starts to be triggered in the body. One of the things that's really important, and of good news, sort of along the themes of your Switch for Good podcast, is that when you actually eat a plant-based plant-based diet.
Mhm.
You get good fiber for your gut microbiome. You
Yeah.
get good polyphenols from fruits and vegetables and nuts and legumes to feed your healthy gut microbiome. That takes down inflammation. That's like taking out a fire extinguisher and just blowing out the excess flames that are actually around. Really, really helpful for taming excess body fat.
Okay, so I'm thinking about different foods. I'm thinking about what foods help build blood vessels
Mhm.
and for what illnesses that we would want to eat them for. But I'm also thinking about what foods do we want to instead of building blood vessels, cut off
Yeah.
blood supply to the parts of the body, like cancer, right? Like, so you're
Yeah.
not feeding cancer with
Yeah.
oxygen and
Yeah.
energy. Are there
Yeah,
certain foods? Yeah.
Yeah. So let me try to maybe find a simple way to explain it.
Okay.
Our body is really good at maintaining just the right amount of all of our defenses. But if our defenses go down, shields are down, we get into trouble. And sometimes if our shields are overactive as well. If your immune system's overactive, that's called autoimmune disease. If our angiogenesis is overactive, that can feed cancer. So we want to basically keep everything within what I call the Goldilocks zone. Not too hot, not too cold, not too hard, not too soft, but just right. That's what we're aiming for. And like everything else in life, what we found out with research, it's about having balance. You want your body to be really, really well balanced. So what are some of the foods that can take down not just angiogenesis, but take down many of your body's health defenses, like expose you to vulnerabilities?
Yeah.
Well, excess red meat, processed meats, bologna, salami, all that kind of stuff that you find in the deli that we grew up in our school systems eating from the lunch lady feeding us. I will tell you that ultra processed foods, things in a box with 20 ingredients that you can't pronounce, but simply put, artificial chemicals, artificial preservatives, sweeteners, flavoring, coloring, okay? All those things that we eat, they might taste good here in your mouth, and they might even send addictive signals to our brain. But I can tell you, in our body, they lower our shields.
Mhm.
One box of your favorite snack, in a box, not going to do it. But, you're talking about, like the person you knew who did it every single day over the course of our lives, that kind of pattern will take down our defenses. And because those types of foods counter a healthy metabolism, they actually help us grow extra body fat eating ultra processed foods. And so what you really want to do is to be able to flip the script on that.
Right.
And be able to really protect your shields up. Okay. The way I tell people, like, thinking about when you sit down at a restaurant and order off the menu or the drive-through, or when you're actually, planning dinner and you go to the grocery store, think about it. Every decision you make can be a good decision or a better decision. But you don't want to be making bad decisions, right? So don't make the bad decision, make the better choice every single time. That's a shot on goal to protect your body and your health. And that's allowing your shields to go up. So it turns out that foods that tend to increase your angiogenesis defenses, better circulation, also tend to improve your stem cells, your ability to renew and heal from the inside. Also tend to help your gut microbiome. Mother Nature is very smart. She hates to waste. So one thing that's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Mhm.
Okay. So things that are good for one health defense are often good for all the health defenses and your metabolism at the same time. And most of it comes back to eating healthy plant-based foods.
Yes. Tell me if I have this right. You talked about making more stem cells. Does calorie restriction make stem cells more potent to fight cancer? Because I heard something and I thought, oh, maybe
Okay.
I kind of have this wrong from what he said, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, I want to maybe try to reset people's knee-jerk reaction to the word calorie.
Okay.
People tend to immediately make assumptions about calories.
Mhm.
Look, calories are just the unit of measure that we call the energy from food.
Okay.
Just kind of like we have a gallon of gas. Okay. Calories is what we call that unit of energy. And what I would say is that let's set calories aside for a second, but to say one thing, when you eat less, you're just putting less fuel in your body. Okay. And when you put less fuel in your body, it happens to be fewer calories. Okay. What happens is you're not overloading your system all the time. So by restricting your energy that you're eating, what that allows your body to do is to reset itself. It actually allows your stem cells to regenerate parts of the body more efficiently. It's going to do it anyway, but it's going to do a lot better when you actually don't overload the fuel tank. So caloric restriction is sort of like, don't fill your gas tank until it's brimming and starting to overflow. All right.
Right.
Yeah, you can get into the trend and cut by 30% or 60%. It is true. I will tell you that lab researchers have found in mice and rats, if you cut back their calorie to 30% of what they normally eat, like restricting 2/3 of your fuel, that's a lot. It's not pleasant. You will extend their longevity for sure. They're going to be real skinny. They're probably not going to be real happy, but they're going to live a long time. And so for me, my approach to this whole thing is don't fixate on calories or counting calories. Get good quality food with good quality energy. Okay. You want polyphenols, you want dietary fiber, you want to have healthy fats and oils. You want to have lots of micronutrients, bioactives that are present in our herbs and spices. You want it to taste really great as well. Trust me, researchers like me who study food as medicine has shown that's the magic mix to activate your body's health defenses, improve your metabolism. And in so doing, by the way, you're going to be restricting the calories that you're going to have anyway, compared to shoving a 3-inch steak down your gullet. Okay. But by eating a little bit less, by lowering the amount of fuel you put into your body, you give your body the chance to actually renew and reboot itself more easily. You're not burning your body's capacity out.